Salam to everyone. This is Sayashriya's makeshift kitchen on the Sayashriya Super Specialty Hospital site.
Namaste, Sairam. This is called the steam cooking section. This equipment is steam generator, which generates steam. Taking the water as input, it converts water into steam. And there are safety gadgets, pressure gauge, and a water level indicator. These are all the basic required amenities for a steam generator. There are two safety gadgets in this which I would like to stress. This is a cooker safety weight system which will release at 1 kg per pressure, indicating that the steam pressure is enough for cooking. And in case for some reason if he misses out or he goes out, then there is something called a dead weight blow system. This blows off at 3 kgs per centimeter square, the pressure, bearing there is no chances of accident happening in this system. So this is a foolproof system, and the steam generated is being put into steam line for the equipments. The first equipment here is an idli plant. One can see here a trays, a traditional way of feeding the batter into the trays and then closing for 5 to 8 minutes. The idlis will be cooked in this. Again, there is a control valve here which can be closed. The steam will be closed, and then one can comfortably open it and remove the trays, take the cooked idlis and refill the batter and put on. So one cycle may maximum take 10 minutes to cook 120 idlis. Similarly, the steam line is next taken to these two cookers. These cookers, the steam is passed. There is a control valve here. The steam is passed through the bottom of the cooker. One can see the perforations here inside. The steam will come up in the direction, and whatever is intended to be cooked there, like potatoes, vegetables, or even water, it will start boiling. It can be used for rice or cooking the vegetables. And there are two cookers like that. One we call it as multi-purpose. There is another a vessel which will be dipped into it. This is the detachable one. This detachable is used for boiling milk, or for some recipes where you don't want the steam to be entered directly to the food. Some vegetables and things like that can be baked or cooked through this system. Once this is taken out completely, it becomes yet another rice cooker. So this is called multi-purpose, and there are two systems or two cookers to take care of the present cooking. And then comes the burners. There is a gas line being done and the cylinders are placed outside. One can see the red lines marked here with a hose. There are controls. The gas is available at this point. So once you open it, the burners are available for cooking. There are two different burners and two different capacities of burners we are giving here to get different BTU of flame, that is the thermal units of flame. One is a low pressure and the other one is a high pressure. So somebody can cook as per their desire based on the capacity of the vessel's cooking or the magnitude of cooking. The third one, this is an hot plate, can be used for both dosas and chapatis. The same way there are burners, there is a pilot burner. The same gas line is what is feeding the gas for this equipment also. We can do dosas and chapatis or any sweet polis and things like that. Anything. This is a hot plate tawa in what we call as local languages tawa. So this is a multi-purpose tawa. Opposite to the hot plate is one table with two undershelves and a granite top to do all the preparations, to do either a chapati, the rolling of the chapatis by hand, all can be done in this table. Of course, the storage racks to help assist cooking, keep the vessels or the cut ingredients or the masalas. We don't want them to be kept at the ground level, so we have given racks wherein comfortably the cooks will take it and then cook it like this. This is the purpose of giving this racks. So you can see automatically the buttons or the ladles being kept here along with the masala tables. So that will be helping for the cooks either to cook on the burners or cook on the steam cooking. Here we intend to bring the cooked food. This is a food store table. After cooking has happened, the food can be stored in this before being delivered or supplied to the consumers. And here in this quadrant, approximately 1/4 of this cookhouse kitchen, we have allocated for the stores with a lock and key, a compact store with couple of 4 to 5 storage racks of 5 tier. So it is needless to explain. You can see how well the storage can happen at a small space. A to Z materials required for the cooking. The menu being a simple South Indian breakfast and meals and dinner. So what all the ingredients are required can very comfortably be kept in these racks. And here one can see the weighing scale. Of course, any material coming in or going out, if it is measured, that is the best thing to happen in a kitchen, to see the pilferage or the accountability, rather more than pilferage. It is in accountability of the material what has been purchased and utilized. This one equipment is a special equipment for onion and potato. So this is how loading happens from the market, from the basket or from the gunny bags. They will load into it. So it takes first in first out. What I mean by that is, if something you have done 2 days back, this is how the potatoes are connected. So you take out the first potato which has been put in. Likewise, this chamber is for onion. So for that day, whatever they want, they will take it and then keep it for consumption. So that is what is called first in first out. So onion and potato generally should be breathing to extend their shelf life. So this is how it is. So they don't really exert pressure on each other. It is airy, also ventilated. So the life of these two things is mentioned, especially it is called as onion and potato bin. So the life in this is for a longer shelf life. And here this is called a pallet. We don't intend to keep any stores on the ground for obviously the hygiene reasons. So we have kept a pallet which is possible for brooming and mopping, and above that have been kept these storage bins. So the storage bins are with lids, sort of airtight lids. It can be even locked for security reasons, safety reasons. So this is how a lot of ingredients have been kept here, and few bags also can be stored on these pallets, like gunny bags or the bags of rice. So this is all about the stores. And this is the wet processing section. You have a dough kneader, or called as atta kneader, wherein around 10 kgs of atta can be comfortably mixed. The time taken to mix is hardly 8 to 10 minutes. a good consistency is happening in this when it is mixed, unlike the pressure what is being put on a by hand or by human process. This is a powerful machine, and it kneads the atta evenly, so the consistency of the batter is the dough is so good, you get better chapatis. This is a table to keep these ingredients for the wet processing works to happen. The table is called a rear splash guard, so nothing goes and falls back. So most of the tables here in this project we have given rear splash guard to see that nothing falls behind, making them difficult for collection. This, the name itself will reflect, it is a wet grinder. One is 10 liters, the other one is 5 liters. This is for rice grinding as well as dal or chutney grinding. This is about the wet processing. So, and then coming back here, this place is meant for pot wash or for instant washing by the cooks. Whatever they are cooking, they would like to clean the vessels or the hands or the ladles. So this is a pot wash whilst cooking. Yeah. This is a semi-automatic chapati maker. The dough has to be kneaded in the machine what has been shown inside the kitchen. Once the dough is kneaded, it has to be broken into balls or dices, and those balls can be put one by one here this way. Then there is a pressing unit in this, it presses automatically, and the pressed chapati slides down onto this moving conveyor type of heater. This is a LPG burnt or LPG operated chapati maker. The chapati will automatically be taken in. There are burners on both, on top as well as bottom. So when it passes through this chamber, it gets baked. It even gets puffed. So we can get either pulka, or we can add the oil before it is falling here. So that is how the chapatis are being collected. This is the consistency, and this is how it comes. The capacity of this machine is around 800 pieces, that is 800 chapatis per hour. It depends on how fast one is able to feed the chapati ball into it, because the dicing will happen inside, the pressing will happen inside, and it comes here. The thickness of the chapati can be maintained by adjusting the pressing unit here, as thin as 1 mm up to 2 or 3 mm depending on the need of the chapatis. There is an adjustment which adjusts the thickness of the chapati coming out of this plant. That's it. So here at the southwest corner we have planned for the gas bank. What you see here in 2 rows is a cylinder manifold, and each cylinder will be connected through a flexible hose through an adapter. It is made to take 6 into 2 cylinders, that is 6 will be anytime connected while 6 will be a standby. Once the gas gets over, there is a control here, we just have to switch it on, and the other 6 will be automatically loaded. So you have enough time to load the used 6 cylinders. This is how a cylinder gas bank works on a commercial basis. So from here, the gas line has been taken into the kitchen through the red pipe. There is a safety device, safety valve taken, safety controls taken here, and also one can operate on and off from outside as well as from the inside.